everybody. We're back again. Surviving.
Yay!
Whoa. They had a little bit of delay there, but yeah. It's your host, Joe.
And Lorne.
This is the Dead Pixel Internet. I think you might have to disconnect and reconnect again. Try it, because I'm getting a little bit of robot voice from you.
Oh, right now?
Oh, no, now you're good.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Alright then. Yes, this is episode 443 of the Dead Pixels Internet.
Yeah.
Mid-June. And the days are hot. I will tell you that right now.
The days are on fire, baby.
Our world is getting more different than it was before. We really didn't touch on a lot of stuff that happened, like, you know, in the world, because it's been kind of the same for the most part. Not the same. I meant, like, nothing really has changed, but yes, there's some differences now. Like, people are now going against, like, cops' brutality, and also the shows, which to me, I'm just like, that's crazy to think. Like, one of my favorite shows, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they're telling me, like, oh yeah, you can't come back. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it sucks that, you know, they have to get roped into it, but I like that show. And they canceled Cops, the actual show about cops.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Apparently not come back after about 30 years. Yeah, so, and then also with that too, things of like, that include blackface, like some movies, just like Gone with the Wind, are just gone from HBO Max. They took down, like that one episode of It's Always Sunny, where Mac does his own Murtaugh, which is mostly, it was a joke. That's what I see. It's like, it was a joke. He wasn't doing it seriously, but hey, I guess.
But he had to take it down.
Gotta take it down, man. And that's just, to me, it's kind of weird. Like, who knew that would be the one that's like kind of get dated after a while? And I was like, damn, you can't show that stuff anymore. Because I used it as a joke, like in Wreck-It Ralph. I remember. I just watched that a couple days ago. And the other thing that's happened is, have you heard what's going on with the I know you don't watch Game Grumps anymore, or at least it's like a very limited. I don't know what's.
I don't watch Game Grumps now.
Okay, well, what's going on right now is I don't know what's going on with their thing, but something's going on with their editor. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird backlash going on with that. And yeah.
Like, what's going on? Like, what do you mean?
Their editor used to be a guy named Ben. I don't know what he's doing now, but he still is off and on editing the episodes. But sometimes they don't mention him by name. They just say, "Oh, hey, editor," meaning like someone else is editing, but they never say who the other person's editing. They used to have kind of like a weird symbiotic relationship with their editors. You know, they'd be like, "Oh, Matt Ryan, put that up," or, you know, "Barry, put that in." But now they just go like editor, which is kind of a weird thing. But what happened with the editor was, like, he was like caught in some scandal, like asking for nudes on Twitter, and they never they don't really touch on that, which is really, you know, they don't have to, but it's just kind of weird that there's no transparency on their part of like, oh yeah, he's either fired or, you know, he's still on here. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But they also he privated a bunch of videos on the Game Grumps channel himself about with the ones with JonTron. Like, not all of them, but like some of the ones that are more or less problematic in his eyes. I'm talking about Ego Raptor. And to me, that's just kind of weird, because he can do that, but it doesn't mean that it's gone forever, you know?
Yeah.
But he completely took down like pretty much the whole run of, like, you know, Link to the Past, one episode of Animal Crossing, because there's like compilations of them, you know, saying racial stuff on their show, and it's mostly due to JonTron sometimes saying that, but I don't think he's saying it in a derogatory or evil fashion. That's what I think.
In case, because you don't want to get that feedback off, like, well, JonTron said this and blah blah blah. So before anything, you know, let me just pretty much make those private.
Yeah.
Because anyone could say anything about, like, well, John Tron is racist and blah, 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 blah. He said this on Game Grumps. That means Game Grumps is racist.
I know, but I see it how I see the old school like cartoons, what WB used to do, the Band 7. Like you can be like Disney and just completely erase and scrub whatever you did in the past that was kind of questionable. But WB was like, they presented like, this happened back in the day. We don't hold these views now, but to erase them, good to make them act like they never happened, and we can learn from this situation. Which I'm like, they did it more like professionally.
But like, what more you can do with, like, for example, like YouTubers? They're not. No, they only professional to a certain degree. They don't have like a big business. They are independent contractors.
Yeah. Well.
You're like, what's the best option you can tell an independent contractor to be like, oh, well, I don't believe this now, so I'm like, no, these were just jokes. These was not what we were seriously thinking. All this stuff here.
Yeah,
how many people take that to the masses? So they're like, yeah, well, you know what? They are right. They don't really think about this now. They are completely two different people. No, people don't want to hear that. People want to hear like, oh, well, no, man, no, they are super racist, blah, 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 Eagle Raptor, and like all this stuff here. Like, you can say like pretty much one thing, but the masses, there's more than one person will always run with it and always say like a bunch of different stuff to discredit you.
No, I'm more in the camp of like, they said stuff, but it's like it really doesn't really reflect how they are now.
That's just
me.
To pretty much to pretty much make it private and just like completely take out the category to not deal with that. No,
but even if they private it, or people's already downloaded and made their own compilations of it. So there's not.
The people, like I said, what else you can do if you in a certain situation?
You can speak out. You can really speak out and just be like, yeah, we don't do that anymore. I mean, he's already done that himself, saying like, I was in a weird time back then.
But you can say that, but how many people going to actually?
They actually believe that now. Like with Eagle Raptor, he's put a whole thing saying like, yeah, I remember I did all these things before, and then like even if you watch his old cartoons like, Metal Gear Awesome 2, he did drop an N-bomb in there too, but he completely changed it now.
But like I said, it's all depending. Like like I said, and I say it's sketchy, but it's more like you can't really win. There's no winning. What way you decide to do?
I know.
You can't please everybody. All cannot be winners.
Well, that's what the game loop's trying to do now. And I'm trying to think like a weird political stance, but I watch, but don't really watch them. I'll put them as background noise, but they're not as funny. I mean, this is my personal opinion. They're not as funny as they were before.
Oh, Game Grumps?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think lost the edge?
Their edge. The fact that they have to, basically have to please as much people as they can by being just, as safe and clean as possible. Which is like, yeah, it's good for everyone, but, not everyone's into that type of humor. Even they try to do it, it's like, they do the same old shtick for the most part. They reuse a lot of jokes, which I've just noticed. Like, oh, there's that joke again. Okay, that's funny. But it's like he's already distanced himself from like how his old school Newgrounds days was before, and that shows growth. There, okay, that's cool. He's not the same person he was, but to run a company like that, and it's just weird to me. Because
also, they got a lot of backlash. Well, Eagle Raptor got a lot of backlash about like pretty much like, oh well, you're not like the old Newgrounds like Eagle Raptor because he was more edgy, he was more this and that. I'm like, well, he changed. He became a little bit more older, more responsible. He didn't have that same anger outlook. But people be like, oh, I want the old Eagle Raptor. Like, yeah, the one who didn't care for, who really wants like, oh yeah, the censor to get to him or whatever, or blah blah blah. But like, no. That is like, you want the old one. Sorry, that's the old videos. So that you can watch the old videos of that. Eagle Raptor now think of more like, okay, what ways for me to pretty much help my business to make money? If this make me lose money, then why I'm doing this?
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's just
It's too corporate at that point.
Yeah, it's hey man, like one day we will be corporate as hell too. Not to lie to you, it's gonna be like, hey, is this gonna affect our bottom line? Is this gonna affect our business?
Yeah, I know
that's. You cannot be like, oh well, you know what? No, you can't be. Always cannot be pure. For,
I mean, people respect that though. If you can profit what you do, but then you're still true to yourself, that's pretty admirable. But that's like it's a really hard line to cross in between those two.
You know that's what I'm saying. It's very hard to cross that line because there's no how you'll cross the line. How you gonna make everyone satisfied? How you gonna make everyone happy?
I don't know.
You cannot.
I think Oni Plays does that pretty well. They're like Oni Plays. They're like another Let's Play channel. Him and all his Newgrounds friends, they still make the same jokes that are very just like overboard and kind of, you know, that would be bad to hear if they didn't censor themselves. They'll still use all that, but people like them because they're like, yeah, it's just how we talk. We don't really mean anything by it. And then they're just, you know, I'm pretty sure they're still a profitable thing because they still like sell a bunch of like merch just like everyone else. So I don't know. I don't know what the takeaway for this is. Just watch what you watch on YouTube. But I don't know if the whole thing of like censoring yourself, like just because of that, is for me. I feel like, you know, if you preface it saying like, yeah, I don't do that anymore. The same people like the way that people dig up old tweets, you know. It's like, oh, look what you said.
Yeah, but you know how people are. People will always want to bring someone down. There's no like perfect way of like pretty much of it. It's like someone will always want to bring someone down. And pretty much you can say all the right things, but someone always want to bring someone down because someone always want to see a building burn.
Yeah, basically.
Because it's just like, oh well, I just want to see this burn. Why? Because I want to. There's no really reason why. Because it's just I want to. I want to see this person suffer. You know, it's human nature. It's disgusting. But it's the most satisfying thing to see. It's just like, wow, man, I can't believe you want to do this to that person. And be like, yeah, I know, but it is what it is. No, it's just like, well, you know what, it's fine.
I guess so, yeah. But other than that, though, it's been a pretty, I mean, right now it's been a pretty decent week. Me and Lorne went to a mall.
Yeah, we can say what mall we went to. Jeez.
A mall, no. Mall of America. No, we went to Woodfield Mall, which is one that's kind of out of our way, but we like going there because it's a better experience than going to the mall's close to us, which is the Lincolnwood Mall. And it's one of the bigger malls, at least in Illinois. I say to like indoor mall. Let's say indoor mall. Yeah, the biggest indoor mall. I like what they have there, but when I went there, they didn't have FYE open, which is one of the other stores that I like going to. Microsoft store not open, Apple store not open. Some stands not open. Some food places not open. So it's kind of like a half version of going to the mall.
Yeah, just a few things not open, but there's some places still open.
Yeah, I know. We went to Uniqlo. Yeah, I don't know when was the last time we went there, actually. It must have been like in November or like last year, September or something like that. We went there like a while back. But it's still a great place. I saw some Evangelion shirts, which is kind of a cool, like, underground, like, haha, look how cool I am wearing an Evangelion shirt. Not the rebuilds, the old school 90s ones.
Yep.
And yeah, Uniqlo's just got that sense of style where you're like, this is very relaxed. Relaxed Japanese is what I can say. What else did we do? We went over there and we saw people when we see people without masks while we are doing it, it's just like, man, that's just so inconsiderate,
Like, why would you why we not wear a mask and everything else inside a public place?
Yeah,
that's putting everyone else in danger.
Yeah, I know. And they just kind of walk around like, yeah, this is how it is. I'm just like, not for you, apparently. You think you're cool enough to be like, yeah, I don't need that right there. Well, everyone has to do it, and it sucks because it's in the mall. Since if you have like stuff like going to what do you call it? Food courts, and then you have to eat with the. You gotta take the mask off of you, obviously.
Yeah. But then there's people just standing on the counters and eating. I'm just like, that's nasty.
They have no tables you can sit at. Technically, that'd be like, this is not technically a table, but so we can eat here.
Yeah. We just stay here and eat. But like, why will you do something like this?
Yeah.
Like,
it was fun though. It was. It's the one that I usually go to when I get there is like, you know, too cool, but that's not really like something I usually get something from. It has to be something that can catch my eye when I go there. Like, oh, that looks cool. They don't have enough JoJo stuff. That's the thing.
They have no JoJo stuff.
Well, they have a couple. You can get like the little tiny plushie.
They have no JoJo stuff.
Okay, sure. And we went to GameStop all over there because I think most of the other GameStops are not open. So, but this one was open. And it was kind of because it was funny was when I was there. I know this, you know, people can like whatever games you want, but just hearing stuff between the people and the, you know, the customers and the guy behind the counter talk about the game stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I think he was buying like a Cyberpunk figure." The one guy. And the guy behind the counter is like, "Oh, did you get this for the PS4 or for the Xbox?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't do Xbox. I'm PS4 all the way." I'm just like, you don't have to say it like that. You just be like, "Oh, I just got it for the PS4." But he's like, but then he says like, "I don't only get Xbox because they had Gears of War." And the guy behind the counter was like, "Thank you." I'm like, what?
It's just like, what? Okay, like, thank you. Like, you have to like Gears of War is like a masterpiece. Like,
yeah.
Like, Gears of War is okay. You know, it's not like, oh my god. It's like, yeah, man, thank you. Gears of War, best only game for Xbox. Like, no.
And then so then they were and then he was like, yeah, after part 3 though, I didn't really like it that much. But he was like, but they were still fun though. I'm just like, again, your opinion, but man, you need to the guys need to broaden their taste. That's the thing. Like, you got to try other things than just Gears of War.
Yeah, you need to expand your gaming thing, man.
Your horizons.
Yep, not zero horizon.
Yeah,
that's like saying, oh man, only thing good from PlayStation is like God of War
or Call of Duty. Like it reminds me of those like old school Call of Duty heads. You know, that you're like, I'm gonna get World War II on the day it comes out, and I'm gonna get the hardened battle edition along with the tiny little RC car.
Yeah,
those things are always like, oh, that's kind of funny, I guess. But yeah, so we were there, and then we just left because, you know, that's what you do when you go to the mall.
You check, you're seeing what's there.
Yeah, I wanted to go to that bento box, but since, you know, it was kind of a popular thing, that's kind of crazy to me. Like, wow, that's a popular one right there. I couldn't have a chance to get in there, but it was still fun though. I still enjoyed my time. But yeah, it was somewhere to say like, oh yeah, we did see each other, but, you know, it wasn't the whole thing like, oh, we just gotta completely stay away. I feel like I think it's kind of just comparable now. I don't think like, you know, I'm pretty sure you stay just as safe as I do with not just going out there and just wear no mask in a public place, you know. So we'll see. Anyways, what's going on this week, huh? A bunch of things. I played I didn't finish it, but I'm in the middle of playing Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us.
And any so far?
Here's the thing. I think it's pretty good so far what I played. I don't know about the ending because, like, you know, who knows what could happen, but so far what I'm playing, like, this is a pretty good game. First of all, yes, it's almost a cliche. It's like the graphics for that is amazing. And, like, you know, they had this thing where I was just, like, kind of walking through the snowy field, and then, like, I touch a tree and the snow realistically falls off the tree like it was actually there. I'm just like, holy crap, that's technology right there. And yeah, like how the grass looks, how everything looks in that game. Like, this is like high quality stuff right here. Of course, because they made, you know, Uncharted. Those games are like always like, you know, high quality stuff right there. Whether you can like say the gameplay's good, it's up to you. But they're serviceable. They're fun still. But this one's way too depressing. There are some people out there saying like, I don't think I can play a game like this. It's just too much to bear. I'm like, I can get that. I can totally get that.
So it could be underwhelming at times.
Overwhelming or underwhelming?
I mean, overwhelming at times.
Yeah, it could be, yes. And right now, it's not good for Naughty Dog for this one, because the critic score for this is really good. It's like one of their highest rated games, from the critics. But from the users, it's really low, like 3.5 on Metacritic. So they were review bombing this game. And it's just, to me,
because,
it's like...
because I think, did the ending got released or whatnot? Or...
No, I think it's just because there's one scene, and I got to that scene, and I'm not gonna... There's no spoilers. Don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna spoil Last of Us Part 2. But yes, this is because basically just a one scene. They didn't like it. And I can understand why. Like, yeah, that's a very controversial scene, but it's not gonna make me... It's not gonna turn me off of the game. It is hard to get through, but you're just like... I don't know. It adds to the story. That's what I think. Yeah. But people are just like saying like, "Oh, I can't believe they betrayed the characters like this. This is all awful." And then most of it's just memes because, well, one thing and also on top of that, they're getting a lot of hate from people just because they some guy I think like released the footage of it earlier. I don't know who, but someone did, and because of that one controversial scene. And, what can Naughty Dog do other than, DMC strike them and, take their stuff down? And the internet does not like it when you do that, But I just see like, yeah, I mean, that guy did it, so there should be some consequence, but I'm more for the what they did. Like, yeah, I mean, if they're technically their footage, they still can do that, but, people don't... Then, like, other than that, like they released their own trailer, and it's all like you can't comment on it and you can't rate it, or you can't like or do anything to that video. So that makes it even more like, oh, you're not gonna let us join our voice in this? Like, oh god. So that's why this thing's getting like this huge backlash I've seen online, and I don't see it. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a Castlevania thing later on, where right now I'm happy for this game, it's good. And later on where I'm like, I don't know what happened.
You lose interest, like, I don't think this is it.
But so far it's good. They're doing this thing now, at least for the most part, from what I can tell, kind of like how Uncharted did it. There are sections in the game, in Part 4 and like in the Lost World 2, where you can just move around the area freely and see what's in this certain area. You can go here, there'll be scraps in this part, and it'll lead to a note saying like, oh, you can go to this part of the map because they have like more supplies, and like, oh, that's cool. So it's kind of free roaming in that part, but then there are moments where it's like, okay, it's pure just linear right in this part, and I like that. That's cool that they kind of implemented that, because it's makes the world feel a little bit more bigger, because the first one was completely linear. There's no ways you can just go off the beaten path and be like, oh no, it's over here. And that's good for them, because I still really like the first game a lot. But I mean, we'll see for this game. That's all I gotta say. It's I'm still enjoying it. Ellie's a great character. Dina's a great character too. I mean, that's what I think. I know there's also that whole thing of like, I can't believe they made her the main character. I was like, I think she's still cool. That's the thing. That's the thing. You can't really please all that stuff. And they are all saying stuff like, oh yeah, I can't believe Neil Druckmann, which is the director of this game, so pushing his agendas of all this stuff. And like, I was like, you already knew that she was gonna be gay though, because she was inside at least Part 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all that stuff is just like, that's a whole weird thing that people do for no reason. But it's a good game though. I also watched, what is it? Stuber.
Oh, you watched Stuber?
On No.
I thought it was on Amazon Prime.
It's not on Prime though. It's on HBO Max.
Oh, okay.
So I watched
Well,
that.
how is Stuber, sir?
It honestly isn't that bad. I thought it was. There were some moments where yes, it was funny. But again, this movie right here does not age well within the year that it got released. Because like
Any cop movie? Oh no.
the basic story of it is Bautista. They don't really explain this well because in logic he'd be like, why would he just follow this guy as around, as make him go with him and all that stuff. It's like an Uber thing or whatever. But like the whole thing is like he gets like he has eye surgery because his eyes are bad. And the guy tells him like, oh, you have to wait like these 24 hours before your eyesight comes back or just gets better. And he's on the hunt for this guy. You see it earlier. And then he finds leads and like, oh, I gotta go, but he can't see, so that's why he gets an Uber. They never really explained that well inside the trailer because he'd just be like, well, don't go inside that Uber. I don't know.
Yeah, it just seemed like, oh, he just sees a Uber, like, oh yeah, because his eyesight. Even listen to you said the eyesight part.
Yeah.
Seems like, like that bad, like, ugh.
Yeah, I know, right? Bautista is still funny. I mean, there's some moments where dumb jokes don't land with him, but I think Kumail is pretty good. Kumail Nanjiani, the other guy, the Indian guy, because he made this and he made Lovebirds, where they're kind of just the same thing. A normal guy who gets into some trouble that he's not used to and says a bunch of one-liners about it. And again, there's moments where you see in there where he's like, he's doing the dirty cop stuff where he's like hitting people with, to get information out of them, and it's like, yeah, that's it only came out last year, but that's not gonna fly today.
Yeah, that's not gonna fly today. Oh no.
It's crazy to think like that's not gonna be not good anymore. But yeah, I think all in all, like, it's not an awful movie. I know no one saw it last year, but but it's on there now.
No one.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, no one really talks about Stuber like it's the best thing. Or at least not in the way of like, remember the movie Game Night?
Yeah.
Because at least people talked about that. Because like, from what I saw on trailer, like it looked like it was kind of like a basic mediocre comedy. But when it came out, people were actually talking like, hey, it's actually pretty good. I'm just like, oh really? That's cool. Well, that's not the case with Stuber. So it just came out. No one said anything. Like, okay, sure.
Of course not. No one's like, oh yeah, stand for Stuber. Nope.
Probably somewhere out there. And the funny thing with that is, along with HBO Max, is they're gonna get the Scoob movie on their, direct to streaming. Like I think by the end of the month or next month. And
the Scooby movie?
Yes, the Scooby Doo movie, the animated one.
Oh yeah.
And that's like, damn, it really didn't do that good, huh?
Well, the streaming numbers, bro. Streaming.
I mean, that helps, I guess, for them. You know what's on there right now that I just looked earlier?
What is?
The Fantastic Four reboot movies on there. On HBO.
Which one's Fantastic Four?
Wait, no, it's on Disney Plus. The reboot one.
Which reboot one?
The one that's not like the ones now with the Silver Surfer ones. What do you mean reboot ones? There was only like the one.
One.
I guess Fan Four Stick.
Okay.
Is that
did you just say the one with Chris Evans or the one with Michael B. Jordan?
Okay, the one with Michael Jordan inside it. Yeah, that's on Disney Plus. It's not on HBO Max, but I'm just like, damn, that's weird because continuity wise,
it's owned by Fox.
I know. That's the thing. That's so weird about it, but it's not it's not all in all like one of the best that they have. But they're just like, yeah, it's on there now. Even the director himself like just flat out hates that movie. And when you hear things like that, it's like, damn, they really messed up his whole like vision of this thing, because originally it was like 4 hours long, and
the movie should not be that long.
Yeah, right. And I felt so bad because that guy was like on a fast track to become a cool director, because he was like, oh, he made Chronicle, which was actually a very serviceable and good movie. Then he went on to make this. So
good job.
I don't know what he did. Same thing with the guy who directed what do you call it, Zombieland. He was like, oh, he was gonna be one of the directors that you should be looking out for because he does good stuff. Because well, just one with just Zombieland. Then he made like another movie. Then he made Capone. Then he made like another like the one that's the Ben Affleck movie, and no one just like whatever. Everyone just completely just dropped this dude, which sucks because he's he's not that bad.
Well, now he's bad.
Now he is, yeah, currently.
Mm-hmm.
I also saw Artemis Fowl on Disney Plus. I don't know why.
Because it just came out, and I know a lot of people was reviewing that movie.
It's a fun movie to watch when you're gonna hate it, and that's pretty much like kind of half the reason to watch this movie because it's so bad. I mean, like for me, when I saw it, I was just like, I don't get a lot of these things are happening because it's based on the Artemis Fowl books, which I'm not a teenage girl, so I've not read those books. But yeah, it's based on that, and from what I hear on those books, they completely butchered what was supposed to be the whole reason for Artemis Fowl, And this one, in the movie, he's more of an anti-hero. In the books, he's a supervillain. So, the director himself was like, "There's no way that kids will connect to a 12-year-old supervillain." Which I'm like, I mean, they could have tried. That would have been more interesting than this.
It could be something different. Be the first,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's kind of bad. So there's a lot of like weird CGI in there. They kept one thing in there with so it's like based on like real Irish folk tales with spy gadget stuff, which is again in itself is weird. So they have stuff like fairies, goblins, and all that stuff, but they have all the cool like gadgets today. So it's like a Men in Black, except it's not.
Gotcha.
And they have this weird mechanic with the dwarves where they eat the dirt and they shoot it out their ass, and that's the one thing they kept canon inside the books, which I'm just like, well, that didn't translate well because it looks horrifying when he did that.
Like, well, that's give someone nightmares.
Yeah, basically. But it's a pretty bad movie because it sets up for a whole thing, and it's kind of like a worrying thing to feel like Disney would have been like, oh yeah, just release it straight into release it in theaters when it comes out. But no, they're like, yeah, let's just release it on Disney Plus because I don't think this is gonna get the money because they held back on like Mulan because they knew that was gonna make the money in there too, but not that. But this one, they're just like, yeah, sure, whatever. We don't really care. And it's the same guy who directed the first Thor movie directed this one, so it is kind of weird.
And the first Thor movie is not rememberable at all. Except for I want another smash the coffee cup.
That should have been just the entire movie right there. It was weird to think about that though. I was like, man, those first two Thor movies, they were the underdogs.
Chris Hemsworth looked very rough on the first Thor movie.
They bleached his eyebrows, which was weird to me.
Yeah. I was just like, why? He looked like a very Frankenstein type of individual.
Yeah, I know. And then
just like,
well, the first Thor movie was actually pretty well reviewed. It was like, let's say like around like 85%, which is like not awful, but it's still not good. Then the second one was like the one that people were like, what was even the point of this movie? Did it really even set up anything other than what the Red Infinity Stone? That's about it. That's the only thing they set up in that movie. That's the only reason you probably should watch it.
Yeah.
With Jane
Foster. It's like Red Infinity Stone. That's it. Nothing else passes.
And Jane Foster, I was like, I guess so.
And she dies. That's it.
But I will still watch that one at least more than the first one. Because the first one was so goddamn boring.
Hey, man. Hawkeye was good in that one.
But that's the thing. He was the only thing that was good in that. He was the only cool character. It's like, yeah. At least in the second one, there was like some kind of fun, wacky antics they get in like the last part. Like Thor goes on the train. He fights the Ninth Doctor for a bit. Even though he wasn't truly the villain of that one. And then Loki supposedly dies. I'm like, okay, sure. That's where that joke comes in. Like, I don't think he's dead. That's pretty much all
but it just the execution for all that just feels so weak.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, the first like couple years of Marvel was still pretty like we don't know what's going on with these movies. We're trying our best, but once again, like midway through the second phase, pretty much after Avenge of Ultron, they're just like, okay, we'll crank them out. Some things are like kind of not that great here and there, but they're not awful. And on terms of like, let's say like Thor 2 or Incredible Hulk is also like the second most not liked, you know, single Marvel studio.
The one with Ed Norton?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I didn't think it was that bad. It was actually kind of cool to see because like that was pretty much the other confirmation of like we're gonna have a cinematic universe. I like the ending a lot where you could see what do you call it, Robert Downey come to him, and he's like,
yeah,
hey, we got a thing to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. I'm like, whoa, this is for real now. And again, it wasn't that bad, but then you really can't make a Hulk movie because the Hulk is not that interesting of a character anyways.
Nope. Unless he got some other characters with him.
Yeah, that's
why there's no other Hulk movie. Always he's featuring like with someone else.
They made 2 Hulk movies and then both of them didn't go anywhere, which kind of sucks. I didn't think the original one wasn't bad from 2003, but then looking at
2003 was terrible.
But looking at it now, I'm just like, there was a lot of weird choices they did in that movie.
Yeah, like I said, it was terrible.
But he looked for 2003. That looks like an actual Hulk was there. You know what I'm saying? Like the CGI firm was like, it looks like he's actually there. It wasn't, as awful as like any of the other. They use like Lou Ferrigno. Lou Ferrigno's like he can kind of be the Hulk, but you can tell that's just a really buff dude.
Well, I take a real buff dude than CGI dude.
Oh. Is that gonna do the live action JoJo stuff? Just really buff dude instead of CGI.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I ordered all these seasons of that's available at least right now on Amazon for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Ooh, did you now?
Yep, I did. I got to read. I bought season 1 and just season 1 again. I was gonna say season 1 too. Like no, technically they're just one season.
Yeah.
I bought that again on Blu-ray. I don't know if they redubbed it. At least I don't think so. I think they did. I'm not sure. But
why they go redub it?
I don't know. I thought
unless you heard anything about it, but I doubt it though.
I remember hearing that somewhere. I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna release it on Blu-ray and they're gonna redub it because I don't know if it's something to do with like I don't know. But here's the thing that's weird though. So I got like the last part with Diamond. That's the last one that got released. Did they call Stray Cat something else? I don't remember if they did. Because in this one...
I think they call it something else, yes.
No, but they call him Stray Cat in the thing. The dub says Stray Cat. The subtitles say Stray Cat.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess the name Stray Cat... Oh, because it's like... Oh, it's not really like Stray Cat. No,
I know. I'm saying that's easy to say. But still, Echoes... I will still always say this again. Like, Echoes should not be trademarked. But again, I don't know. That's the thing that's weird. They can say Heaven's Door. They can say Stray Cat, but they can't say.
Well, Echoes because of the song. That's why.
Well, it's still just a word, though. I don't know.
But yeah, come on now. Like, there's a lot of things you can say about that. Like, oh well, what about Crazy Diamond? No.
Yeah.
You can pretty much use that same logic. Like, oh, Crazy Diamond. It just reference is just a song and everything else. But like. Everybody know about You Shine On You Crazy Diamond.
Yeah, but like I said, Echoes is just one word and it's an actual thing. A crazy diamond isn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't point a diamond and be like, hey, that's crazy.
Well, sometimes I do that when I see diamonds.
Oh my god, you see diamonds all the time?
Yep.
Like shining nights in the sky.
That's crazy.
Like shooting stars.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay. Well, what constitutes as them being crazy? They like subscribe to OnlyFans or something.
They say Dora a lot.
They say Dora.
Yep.
You watch them like, oh, Dora the Explorer, I see.
Exactly. Like, you crazy, Diamond. You are super crazy.
But they also, like I said, I don't know if they changed it, but did they say Bites the Dust? Because they say Bites the Dust here. I thought it was called something.
No, they didn't change it. I don't think so.
Well, there you go. They can say Bites the Dust. but I think I'm gonna have to rewatch that entire thing except in dub now because I just wanna kind of relive what happened in there. The cases for it are pretty damn cool looking. That's all I gotta say. They got this like really nice artwork in front of them, and it kind of looks like what the manga is doing, like with the whole like, you know how like they really completely did what Jonathan looks like, how Joseph looks like, and like Jotaro. They look completely not what they did before. So you're like picking up the first one, and you're just like, wait a minute, he doesn't look like the guy in the front. Or you're picking up the diamond, and he's like, wow, that Jotaro in the front does not. They all kind of look like Part 8 Gappy, which is weird.
Yeah, Gappy.
And I don't even know what's going on with that one anymore. I kind of just like, I'm not gonna read that one. I'm just gonna see if it once it's get adapted. That way I can understand, because a lot of the stuff I don't understand what's going on. There's a lot.
You just know about Full Metal, right?
What about Full Metal?
Full Metal Alchemist.
Of course I do.
Okay, equal exchange, my guy.
Equal exchange. The walleyes and all that stuff.
Oh, that's not no thing no more.
Walleyes.
The walleyes.
These
I think
two people.
Walleyes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't forget. What if it comes back in a big way later on?
I don't think so.
But yeah, that's that part there. I also saw Vendetta, Resident Evil Vendetta.
Yeah.
Which is currently one of the better, at least Resident Evil movies, including CG and also live action.
Yeah, it is.
I like how
Rebecca's in her thumbs up.
I like how Leon is the starring role in all the CGI ones too.
Of course. Who else would it be?
One. Well, they could have done Chris. Who knows?
Do you want Claire?
That'd be cool. I mean, she can obviously hold the thing. Why not? That's something I'm trying to say. Honestly, I'm like, why not her then?
Because Claire had her time.
He didn't.
We gave her a game.
Do,
you remember the game that he gave her? Code Veronica.
No, well, I guess so. Well, I like how the movies are at least kind of doing their own thing. They're not like kind of following any of the games or anything like that. The live action movies try to do what the games were doing, some of them, but it just looks weird. I remember when they did the dogs scene inside Part 1. I was like, oh yeah, that does not work well inside this version right there.
And then you tiger kick the dog.
Yeah, basically. And also they think did they copy that one part inside the second Resident Evil movie with the Tyrant? Is that Tyrant or was that?
That's Nemesis.
Nemesis. They did the thing where my friend told me this, and I'm still have yet to confirm. But inside that movie, one of them drops the gun, but then they catch the gun, and shoot the guy.
No, that's actually from Code Veronica.
Oh, that happens in Code Veronica, like for that way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that actually happened like the opening, not full motion video, opening
CGI video.
CGI. Yeah, CGI video of Code Veronica. Claire drops a gun and shoots.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's why I watched that one in theaters.
If you play Code Veronica, you will understand. But you don't like old school Resident Evil games because you a baby.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I played Part 2.
Yeah, but what about Part 3?
That will be whenever it's on sale again. And also
how about Code Veronica? Code Veronica is on sale all the time.
I think they probably gonna have to re-release that one again, or
they did
do like a remake or something like that. No
remake on that. They got Village for that now.
Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, what do you call it? Yeah, so the Revelations games, I played those. Those were kind of close enough to the original.
Nope, not even close. Nope.
I'm pretty sure they're 1-to-1. It's literally the same game. You said that to me like one time when we were driving.
I talk about Resident Evil Code Veronica, not Revelations 1 and 2.
Yeah, you told me before. You're just like, Revelations is literally the first game, except it's cool.
I didn't play Revelations 1, so I don't remember saying that.
We said it right now, huh? You just said I'm gonna edit right now. You're like, I remember saying that. You messed up. Change the way that people view things. It's all on there. But yeah, didn't you say you saw something too? or was that something else?
Don't remember.
Yeah, because
I had a long day at work, sir.
What, today?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. So you're working from home now.
Yeah, I'm working from home, so I had a long day at work. So it was like, oh, you want to work from this to this time? Okay, 8 hours. And pretty much it was like my whole day was at the house working and not filling out paperwork, looking at paper, and like understanding what the new stuff had to do. And I will go back to work next Saturday.
Also, that's how. So what is that? How is that gonna work for our whole thing? Are we gonna like?
If you want to record like earlier in the week, you could.
Earlier in the week.
Or if you want to record Wednesday, we could.
Wednesday? How are we going back?
Yeah.
It's like only 3 days from now. It's like, wow, that's not that big of a difference.
Or Thursday, it's up to you because depending on the days, I have to tell you what my schedule is.
Yeah.
Because I'm working. Because next weekend I am working Saturday and Sunday.
Oh man,
I'm working from home, and then I'm working at
7 days before
at the location.
You're doing full 7 days.
Yep, it's been a while since I've worked a full 7 days.
Been a while.
But at the same time, I think I actually didn't treat it like it's at work. Because I was like, okay, I'm here.
Yeah, people get lucky with that stuff though.
Yeah.
I got used to like working from home, just be like, I can just go on a Zoom call, and that's it. That's all for you. That's all you can do. Don't have to get dressed up for that. Don't have to go through traffic.
Oh, I had to get dressed up for calls too.
Oh, do you? Wait, are you on Zoom?
Yep.
Are you on Zoom also doing Zoom calls?
Only if there's like if it requires to.
Oh man.
I had to wear some comfy pants.
Huh. That technically you don't have to wear pants, but yeah.
Yeah, but come on now. Just in case.
Just in case. They had this thing going on. So like right now what they're doing with like, kids schools, I remember I woke up like on Friday right before I was gonna pick you up, and they were like honking outside my out in the streets. I'm just like, what the hell's that noise? And I go outside, and it's a bunch of people having the 2020 like, oh yeah, this guy just graduated. I'm just like, okay. And they're going down the street.
Honk, 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 honk.
And that's funny right there, because that was such a weird thing to do. Just, you graduated. Not really. It's online, but hey, you still graduated.
But you did it, person.
You got your diploma. You had to do a drive-through, just like like you're going through McDonald's or something. That's what I hear. That's what my friend did. Like his son graduated, and then they had to just line up in the car, and then pick it up as it. Yeah. What's his face car? You rock. You were there with me though. I remember because you were with me when my middle sister graduated, and that was the last time I went to like a graduation thing.
Yeah. I was there with pretty much with all your sister graduated.
Yeah, and I remember because the whole thing of like I like how they have to tell you of like, oh, don't clap when your kid comes up here, and then people are like, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna clap as loud as we can.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who are you supposed to tell me? You ain't no one.
Yeah, I know, right? And people still do it. They're like, yeah, whatever. It's my kid. I can do what I want.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's that whole thing of like, oh, you gotta experience that. I'm like, I don't know. It was kind of weird. Because I remember if you have like the long robes, I remember this happened to like a couple people. But if there's like sometimes you get on the handrails, and they're like the ones that stick out, so your hands get caught in them. At least your sleeves. I don't know. It just looked funny to me. I'm a bit of a jerk when it comes to things like that, though. But games. What's going on with games?
Nothing. Last of Us. You talked about Last of Us already, so that's the only game.
The game with gold on the last half of June.
I don't have game with gold no more.
Oh, you're off of it now, huh?
Yeah.
You got a new controller too, I hear.
Yes, I do. New controller.
An Xbox controller.
And it works just alright.
Yeah, I always like that feeling of like having control. Is it
I
just
just have to break it in.
Have you ever? Do your PlayStation controllers last longer than Xbox controllers? That's what I feel like happens because.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I honestly don't know what to compare that to in time.
But you've played on your PlayStation 4, obviously, right? Like.
Yeah, I do.
And then, have you ever had to get a new controller for that?
Yeah, control drift as well.
I've never had to experience controller drift on on the PlayStation 4, but the PS3, yes, I remember that happens. But the PS4, the controllers for me have worked pretty much ever since I got the console. They've never, at least for this moment right here, knock on wood, knock, knock, knock.
Yeah, knocking on heaven's door.
Yeah, knock on heaven's. But the one that does it the worst is the Nintendo controllers, at least the Switch controllers. I mean, after having that for a while, I still can't believe how small these Switch controllers are, especially in my hands. I'm just like, oh my god.
In my hands.
In my hands. In my hands. Remember that good old song?
Yep, I sure do.
Fuel. Oh, they also this cool thing now, like on the what do you call it? On the JoJo Blu-ray discs, they give you like the clean opening. So there's like no title tracks, no like, oh, this guy directed by this guy. It's just like the
it's
animation.
Pretty much the straight opening, yeah.
Which is cool, but like they give you the subtitles of what they say because for some reason they've never subtitled it on like Crunchyroll what the lyrics are. So I'm just kind of like I don't know what they're saying.
I know they did.
No, on Crunchyroll, they never subtitled the songs. The intro songs, at least.
I thought they did, huh?
No. Because I watched the entire... Like, I watched all of them with subtitles. I'm like, oh, so that's what they said. Okay. I see what they say now.
So what they say there, Mr. Subtitle?
A lot of it's mostly like... The first one's more like two kids born under the sun, intertwining fate, their blood, going together. I'm just like, huh. You never would have thought they said any stuff like that. It's very straight.
On what track was that?
That was the very, very first one, Sono Chido Sadame.
Okay.
And that's the Phantom Blood one. But a lot of the stuff is just like, they name drop a lot of stuff like Stardust, Crusaders, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I also know pretty much. Like, I know that one of the tracks off of Diamond is Unbreakable was pretty much for Kira. Well, there's two tracks for Kira. It's pretty much like I Will Hunt You or You Will Never Find Me or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
blah,
that's the second
like
one.
That.
Like, it's called, like, I Will Chase You or something like that.
Yeah, Chase, yeah. The song is called Chase, that's right.
And honestly, hearing that again, I'm just like, this song's not that bad, but it sounds a lot like early 2000s rock from Q101. That's how I feel. They also subtitled the the ending song for Oingo and Boingo and the Oingo and Whole Horse ones. And I'm just like, oh, so that's what they're saying. That's what I guess I don't know why they never subtitled that.
Believe in my magic, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm never wrong.
To basically just explain their powers. They never do anything. They've only done it for those 2 episodes. They never really like done any of the special ending ones for like any of the other characters and all that stuff. Then again, I don't know. It's weird.
Well, there's different tones of that too. Stardust can be really silly at times, but like in the latest series, it just became a little bit more darker.
Well, yeah, that only those 2 episodes right there. I think for the most part, most of Stardust is pretty dark, except for those weird 2 episodes. But Diamond was the only one I know that had only one song for the end, which suited it pretty well.
I forgot what's the name of the song.
It was what do you call it? Want You by Savage Garden.
Yep, and it's about singing about the other band's mate.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
They also have interviews from like the people who do the voices in there. And they ask them like questions or stuff like have you? For the most part, they always say like, oh, have you been known about JoJo this entire time? And like 80% of them say like, no, I don't know about JoJo. For the voice actors,
I'm just the voice.
I'm just the voice. And then they ask stuff like, how do you feel about playing you know, Yoshikage Kira? He's like, oh, he's so cool and stuff like that. It's like, it's like nothing surprising.
He is super cool. I agree.
But there's this one thing called JoJo's Bizarre Fandom, and so this guy who does the voice of young Joseph will talk about like, oh yeah, like if you ever do part 6, and I heard that, I'm like, I got sad. I'm like, oh, we're never gonna get part 6.
Nope, never again.
But he said like, oh, if you ever do part 6, get Kira Buckland in. She's the voice of, I think, Yukako in part 4. He said like, oh yeah, she's a really huge JoJo fan. And they say like JoJo's, which sounds weird to me. You know, like, I'm a fan of JoJo's. I'm like, JoJo's? It's just called JoJo. You hear that though, right? When people describe JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, they say like, oh yeah, do you like JoJo's? I'm like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Yeah. JoJo.
Yes.
Yeah, you hear that. But then he says that like, oh yeah, like she's a really big fan of JoJo's and she'd be perfect for Jolene. I'm just like, well, if we ever get it, then yes, she'll be the perfect voice for the dub of it. And it'd be funny if that actually worked, because her name's Kira Buckland, and you're gonna name her. She's gonna be named after one of the villains in part 4.
Yeah, good work. I like it. I love it.
Oh yeah, also it's uncensored, which feels nice to look at.
What do you mean, like uncensored? Like how so?
The violence.
Yeah, punching holes.
For the most part, like I don't think part 5 was as like very censored as it was.
Yeah, the Kira explosions was.
No, I'm talking about part 5. I'm talking about Golden Wind, because I'm trying to think about it now.
Golden Wind. Probably the little bit of it.
I don't remember there being, because I remember they did it for
the Metallica fight.
They didn't censor the Metallica fight. He straight up just started taking scissors and throwing up razor blades and all that stuff.
No, I'm talking about the color palette. They said that was censored.
No, I watched that recently. They did the one where he actually just straight up just rips out that scissor from his throat. I'm just like, damn.
I'm talking about the color palette though, the black and white.
What do you mean? Huh?
The one that when he got shot by Little Bomber.
Oh, you're talking about that. I thought you were talking about something else.
Yeah, no.
Little Bomber? You just said Little Bomber?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool.
Aerosmith. What, you gonna fight me? Fight me.
They have not updated. No, they haven't done any more of the dubs yet. And so I'm guessing they haven't, caught up to it. They stopped dubbing it right now, at least right after the episode after Metallica, which is kind of funny. So that's when it starts getting good. Huh?
So the killing of what's his face?
Yes, what's his face? Moody Blues, Abakio.
Yeah. Moody asses.
Yeah, basically. I also, this is funny thing too. I also I finished around 2 years ago for Fist of the North Star.
Mm-hmm.
The first part. The first 100 and something episodes, 110 or something like that, and in total there's another 48 after, which is part 2.
Yeah.
And I finished those first 100. I'm like, okay, I'll just give it a rest a little bit, and I'll continue watching it. Then 2 years later, I'm like, okay, now it's time to watch it. So now I was like, okay, let's see the second one, and it's such a
part 2
big,
is not that interesting.
It's a big what do you call it? Time skip though. I'm just like, oh, now they're old. I'm like, huh.
Yeah, Brett,
Bat and Lynn.
Bat and Lynn, super old. They also apparently train under the Southern Star. It's something weird like that.
Yeah, but it is still one of those shows. I'm just like, oh man, there's no struggle for Kensho for the most part, but it still is fun to watch.
And then, for example, Bat had a big crush on Lynn now, but it's something I barely remember, but it was not that good.
Really? Because this is when it actually it says this is where it ends right here. And
see, here's the thing is it just felt like it was, there's no when the ending of the original one when he beat the crap out of Rao and just pretty much just like, well, I guess I'm the new person, and he just disappears.
That's the part I thought was weird. Like, he was just gone for a long time, and
yeah, just like, okay, so you disappear, and then you come back, and then everything's gone to shit again. Like, okay, I guess Kenshiro was going to solve this again, but like, no.
Yeah.
And he had like a beard going on too.
That was cool. I like that. They should have just stuck with more Kenshiro beard, but he was like, I don't know.
No, it just felt weird because then there was the movie too as well. The movie they did,
the animated movie, not the live action one.
Yeah, the anime movie, which is like, oh, Kenshiro has the beard, but it's not really take place in that time frame. It was just weird.
Well, that was just a basic retelling of like the first 3 arcs, I think.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, Ray was still alive. Like, oh, he's still alive. Okay, so he's not dead yet.
He's not dead yet. He didn't get a blanket to death.
Yeah.
Which is the most ironic thing. He got blanket to death, but that was not his final. Was his final death or no?
In the movie or in the show?
In the show.
I think so.
Because I know he was on the verge of dying, and then he was going to face Rao, and Rao was just like, "Oh, I can see everything." The most ironic, funniest thing ever. He's just like, "Oh man, he gonna kill me? I'm gonna die? I don't think so." He's like, "Okay, Rao." He's like, "Okay, Rao, I'm gonna take you. Take this, pocket sand." He's like, "What? No!" The most funniest thing. When I first saw that episode, I was just laughing because it was the most ironic thing. Because I was just like, you know. You can say Rao's a dick. He is. Yes, he is. But also, he's a funny one.
I think.
It's like, okay, cool.
That was pretty much, their best villain, though. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, but also, Rao was kind of like weird at the same time because he couldn't like beat like another guy, which is like Southern or Towser.
Souther?
Yeah. Yeah. You remember Towser?
I kind of remember
because his secret thing is like, oh well, his pressure points was really different.
I think so, yeah.
And his power, he gets it from like a pyramid or whatever weirdness.
I think he pretty much killed everyone. I remember a lot of people dying to Rao.
Yeah. Okay. So no, here you go. Towser died against Kenshiro.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But he lost to him once, though. I think that's the only thing.
Yeah, he lost to him once. Also, Kenshiro lost to the Gravekeeper, too, which was weird.
Yeah.
Also, who else? Also, when Kenshiro stole Rao's horse, that was hilarious.
That is pretty funny. Now he's just riding that thing normally.
Yeah, just riding that thing. Like, the horse is really powerful. Like, what? The horse can take out everybody, pretty much.
Basically.
You don't need to fight Kenshiro. Your horse is the one who does the damage.
Yeah, basically.
But
they did a whole weird thing, though. Like, they did this weird little spin-off called, like, First North Star DD or whatever it was called. And they were all like, no, that was something else. No, they were all like small chibi characters, and it was mostly a comedy. And I watched a few episodes of that. I'm like, I don't know. This is not as good as it should be. They're more like jokes now, and you can see Rao, Toki, and Kenshiro. I'm just like, oh man, I don't know who approved this, but this is not.
This is not. Maybe if I rewatch it, maybe I will get a better appreciation of it. Maybe. Probably not. Because it's probably still on Crunchyroll, right?
Which one?
Fist of North Star.
The parts 1 and 2, yes. They also have the Fist of North Star V Genesis or whatever, which is a 3D CG one.
Yeah, I heard that.
I think it's like Chinese or something. It looks like it's Chinese. And he looks like it looks like Jonathan, the guy on the cover of it. I'm just like, that just looks like Jonathan. And I don't know if it's like it actually like is a continuation or anything like that. Because I know they did like another series in like 2000 or something like that. I don't know if that's any good.
North Star 2000.
Was it any good? Was it different or was it just
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
That should be. I feel like that should be a series at least not rebooted, but like they should redo it just like how they did for Brotherhood with updated visuals and condense the story because I think they can get.
Brotherhood was not a condensed story. Brotherhood was actually.
It's the exact story.
The original Full Metal Alchemist, the original anime was just a bullshit version of that.
There's people that will disagree with you on that because some people like the regular Full Metal rather
than... and that, to their opinion, cool, but that's not the real version.
Yeah, obviously.
The real version was Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually what happened.
Yeah, I know.
You know, if you want to argue about like, oh yeah, there's the fake Edwin trends and everything else. So, okay, that's cool and all. Like that's cool that you gave like some voice actors some roles. That's cool, but that's not what really happened in the manga.
Yeah.
No,
I did feel that it was like they did still take some parts because obviously the people was doing the thing of like, oh yeah, here's the dog scene because people keep talking about that damn dog scene.
Exactly.
But they did their version of it in the original one. But the brother, they're like, okay, yeah, this is better. It was paced better in that one. And then there was that live action movie that no one saw, and we're not gonna get a sequel for.
Yeah. And don't forget that I think there was 2 movies too.
Yeah, right. I think like Secret of the Star.
But those 2 movies was based on the original, the fake anime, not the real one.
Oh man, you're making people mad right now because people still hold that one dearly and just like I don't know. It is more like one of those like, oh yeah, this is alternate history anime right here, and it's what could have happened.
Yeah, but at the same time, like the Brotherhood, it gives a whole lot of people like they give Mustang much better material.
Yeah,
Mustang was just pretty much just a side character.
You talking about the original?
Yeah, in the original.
Yeah.
Not no original anime. Like the Brotherhood, they gave Mustang some balls.
They
gave Mustang like
got a badass
Mustang
scene.
was beating people. He was not no second banana to it. Like, come on, that's why he was a flame alchemist. He was not no jobber. No, Scar, like, they gave, they go, like, the original, they gave Scar too much power. They made Scar, like, oh, Scar's the real true villain. And then, no, he's not. It's actually this person here. And then they was like, oh, no, it's not. It's this. You don't even see, you don't get no mention of Father.
Yeah.
Okay, Father pretty much was just tap his foot. Oh, there's no more alchemy in the whole country. What?
Yeah, they did that one pretty well. They did, like I said, that's why that brother was like the one people are like, oh yeah, this is the one you gotta see. Which for me, as an early watcher, I got confused. Like, why is this going called Brotherhood? And then people have to actually tell you like, this is just the real one. This is the one that actually follows what's happening inside the thing. Because could you imagine they did that with like, I don't know, JoJo? They did some kind of like JoJo's regular adventure where they try to follow the first one.
I would say yeah. But here goes the thing was, like, Full Metal was so popular, came out so left field, so that's why they was like, okay, they led it to a certain point, and then like, okay, we're going to first from the anime. And I understand that,
I don't
but
think, well, the manga wasn't, like, caught up to
the manga, yeah.
Was like...
The manga was out, but it was, like, so different, and a lot of people was like, when the anime was so done, wrapped up, people were like, wait, the manga still go on, and then they was, like, asking questions, like, hey, why this didn't fill up? There was a bunch of different questions like why this is not solved. Who is this person here? Why this is here? And a lot of people's like, so there's no trends. So what's going on here? And that's why they made Brotherhood. Like, okay, sorry, this was getting really too popular, and we didn't want to do a second season of like what if scenarios. So we decided to
start from the beginning,
make a whole new one. Start from the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Well, the only other thing they know they did that for was Hunter x Hunter. There was the original one that came out in the early 2000s, and it got up to just a certain point. But then they're just like, let's just redo the entire thing, which is good because I'm like, yeah, this new one is way better. But
is it coming back?
I don't think so. The manga, if you know about the author, he's not consistent.
He take times off all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing right there. I'm just saying, like, if they do that for Fist of the North Star, that'd be cool. Because, like, I would love to see, like, updated graphics or anything like that. I still think it's, like, a pretty well-respected, like, series. They just... Oh, yeah, they don't milk it like any of the other stuff. Because when I see stuff like, oh, yeah, this series is coming back. This one's getting another reboot of, on there. I'm just like, why this one exactly?
Like, High School D&D again.
Nice.
Like how many times you can pretty much spell the word tits? A lot, apparently.
That's the funny thing about that. I talked with our friend about that. Not our friend, but my friend. You know who, Mr. B. And he's the one that will say like, "Oh yeah, that was such a great series." I'm just like, "You mean ironically or unironically?" And he's like, "Unironically." I'm like, "Okay, we're done here." I can get watching that show just because you can see some fan service there. Because you know the trash taster that I am, that's all fine by me.
I understand that if that's your cup of tea. But if you're going for like something with more substance, it's not. It's just like, oh man, it's a great anime. Just like the drawings.
No, but he liked the actual story behind it, like how it all got set up and the whole thing with how the harems got things. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. But you're watching for the wrong reasons.
I think that is like one of the weakest parts.
Exactly. I'm not. Like, so, that is like the last thing you watch that series for. You're just like, I ain't watching it for that.
Oh, the story's really good. It's like the story's bare bones. So the story is like the weakest part in this. You can pretty much like, the animation, the killing, everything else. That's a good part right there. But you just liking for the story, sir? Are you on drugs?
Yeah, well, he's like, I like the relationship stuff. I'm like, okay, sure.
Okay, sure. You just like the dojis in your face, and then you have to turn away, make sure no one's in the room watching with you. But then they'd be like, "What are you watching? Are you watching hentai?"
There's always that funny joke too of like, what you watching, anime porn? And now we got to the point now with interspecies reviewers and all that stuff. I have to like give my friend recommendation stuff, and when I say stuff like that, he's like, interspecies reviewers, and he's like, what's that? I'm like, it's kind of like an RPG, except they have sex with all the monster girls they can find. And he's like, where'd you watch that? I'm just like, I watched that entire thing on Pornhub. They're like, oh, okay, well, don't think I can watch that. I'm just like, you can, just make sure no one's around, because trying to explain this.
No one to judge you and everything else.
Trying to explain this to your loved ones, you can't.
Yeah.
It's the funny thing is, so I gave him like actual good recommendations too, like, you should just watch this show right here.
Like Beast, like the show on Netflix, I still didn't watch it because I'm like, I don't know.
What do you mean? Which one?
The one
Beastars?
Beastars, yeah.
Did I say I watched Beastars? I don't remember if I did. I watched it though.
And your thoughts?
I think it's pretty good. Yes, it's furry as hell, but hey, that's all you're in there for.
Is it that part of pretty much like furry, or like pretty much the driving like close to borderline hentai, or just that one scene?
You know about that one scene then?
Yeah,
going with the rabbit.
Because with the rabbit and the whatever. Because I was just like, okay, that's just because I remember when that came out and everybody was talking about that one particular scene.
Well, it's that and plus a couple other scenes.
Okay. I see.
But it's an interesting thing because it's just like, it's Zootopia, but, more adult. Because they get to the nitty gritty of stuff. Like,
I bet nitty gritty, huh?
People are now playing like, confirmed for furry to put that on the, on whatever website.
Like, I hate you. Whoever say confirmed, like, I hate you.
You say so. But Beastars I can recommend because, it's a good show because, it's got complex characters. And having it set in a high school, that's the thing, like, there's a lot of shows that are set in high schools, and I do get tired of them. I mean, like, with anime shows in particular. So when I see something that's like not set in high school, they aren't teenagers or they're actually like adults and stuff, like that's like a lot cooler to me. Like, okay, that's better.
So this is not set in high school.
No, it is.
Never. Oh, damn. Now I had to question myself. LOL.
But yeah, Baki's back though, which is great. I love Baki.
Of course you do.
I really wish they'd bring back the old school on there. Baki the Grappler.
I think it's just
I know it's gonna be hard to get licenses for
bad translation, or just bad voice acting.
But it sucks though, because I really want to see how it got to this point. Because there are parts in there where they reference stuff from the previous things, and I'm just like, I don't know what that is.
And also, I think I think that old, the one that used to do dubs for Baki the Grappa is like Anime Network, and I think they went out of business.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know that's the thing. If they pull an Evangelion and just do their own dubs or something like that.
Yeah, but I don't think the fandom Baki will come forth.
I mean, they push it on the front page, at least for me. I don't know if it's all through the algorithm, but they always say like top trending now, and they show Baki on there. I'm just like, that's cool that people actually watching this.
I think it's for you.
I don't know. I guess though, that'd be weird if they put that on trending. Like, why would you trend something that I've already seen? That's how I see it. They want you to watch it again, but
they want you.
I don't know. But like I said, I want to see the original ones. That's on like you can't really access them unless you want to go to like one of those sites that have pop-ups and are horrendous with their flash players and all that.
Yeah, they are.
You saw the original ones though, or no?
What, the Baki?
Yeah.
Yeah, long time ago.
What did you think though? Was it good or?
If I remember, I think it was decent. It was alright. I know it was bloody.
Yeah.
But like other than that, it's been a while.
Because he looks a lot different than he does now compared to the original ones. But I really wish they would do that though. Even the same thing with like Evangelion. Like I know Evangelion's on Netflix, but I don't know if I want to watch that.
You want to watch that.
And there's a lot of things I should be doing, but I don't. I should be going on there playing Final Fantasy, but I mean, yeah, whatever.
I'm waiting for Final Fantasy 8 to come out.
8? I thought it was already out.
Yeah. Well, on Game Pass.
Oh, I thought you were talking about just generally, like, I want that to come out, like, but that's already out, though.
No, on Game Pass.
I still have No Man's Sky loaded up, and I'm just like, I should get to playing that, but I don't. You know what I am playing? What I finished, like, recently?
You want to get some Rick and Morty boxes? That's what you want to try and play?
Wait, what'd you say?
Rick and Morty boxes?
What do you mean Rick and Morty boxes?
Yeah, boxers, underwear.
Oh, boxers. I like boxes. I'm like, well, why do you want boxes of that stuff?
Yeah, you do.
But no, I've just finished Pirate Warriors 4 on the Xbox One, and that's a very surprising thing to see. I'm glad that's just like that now. Back then, if you wanted to get One Piece games, you can only get them on the PlayStation. So it's up until this point, like ever since they released what do you call it? What was that last? The one before the let's see, World Seeker. It was the fighting one, Burning Blood, which was still a serviceable and fun game. And it's only got up to that point. But then when World Seeker came out, that was like, I don't really like that one as much. But if you want to play like a Dynasty Warriors type game, Pirate Warriors is pretty much the best one you can do. Because the thing with One Piece is there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of characters in that game, and you want to give spotlight to them all, but you can't because there's no way you can do that. I honestly don't know what the equivalent of that is, at least in American terms, of a One Piece. One that's like a story made by one guy over 25 years building up to that point. I really can't think of that. The closest thing would be like the Marvel movies, but it's not all by one guy. Technically could be.
Gotcha.
Stan Lee. But part 4 is pretty fun if you are caught up to that point. Because I did rewatch Stampede, the movie that came out like last year, and everything I said about it still stands. Like, yeah, you can't watch this movie without watching, at least reading the 900 chapters or at least watching 900 episodes of the show, because you'll be like, who the hell's that? Why is he in this movie? There's a lot of people that go in there, just pop up, and like, hey, I'm here too, and then they're just gone. Like, why was he in this movie? But I watched it.
True.
I watched it this time dubbed because I was just like, I want to see how the dub sounds like. Still not as a fan of it, but it's still like, good.
It's serviceable, as you will say.
Like I said, said that 3 times this podcast. Okay. But that's the funny thing is they already have characters that are in there that are dubbed that they have not gotten to inside the show. So I can find like, oh, that's how the dub voice for that guy is. Like, oh, okay. Oh, there you go. and it's still a fun movie, but they go really really quickly. They go in the fourth one. They just like, woo. They just move one thing to another. But Pirate Warriors 4 is a good movie. I mean, good game. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of characters you can play as. Cause what they did was, for the first one, the story went up until the before the time skip, and you never play a time skip inside part 1. Part 2, you go up until a little bit after the time skip, and then after that it's a completely game only story, which I did not like because I was like, what the hell is this?
I don't like original content.
Because I think in that one they never covered the Skypiea arc inside part 1, but in part 2 they did the Skypiea arc and a little bit of like the other stuff, but that was it. Inside the third one, they cover most of the arcs up until they get to Dressrosa, which was they were currently on, and then that was just the original story for them for that. And then the original story for that is not as good as like what happened in the anime / manga. So it's like, sure, whatever. And then this one, it's up until they get to Wano, which is again 900 episodes in, or like 1,000 chapters. And at that point, there's so many new powers, so many new characters, and so many new things already added. That's pretty cool. But the thing is, they don't cover the entire Wano story. They only cover up until like the first part, and everything after that is just a made up story that what they think would happen, which is like, there's no way that that this will happen inside the show, because that's just weird. Because they do fabricate anything like, oh, what happens if Shanks would go in this now? I'm just like, but he wouldn't though. At least I don't think so. That'd be weird if he did.
That's not his characteristic.
Yeah, basically. Because they set up this now, like, oh yeah, the 4 emperors, here they are right now. They're getting close to, from what it seems like, the end game. They want to finish this thing soon, but they're adding a lot more to it there. Kaido apparently is one of the strongest creatures inside on all of One Piece, so I'm just like, that's so when he gets beat up inside the game, I'm just like, okay, sure. Sure. That's not supposed to work out. But you play a lot of cool characters, and my favorites one is the new. He just got recently introduced, not recently, but like the best one of the last arc, which was Katakuri. He was really fun to play. But they also split this one up in separate parts. You actually get to play the original story for Dressrosa, which is fun right there.
Gotcha.
And the thing is, I'm also actually pretty getting close to completely 100%ing the achievements for it. But there's one achievement that's gonna take forever to do, and
what is that?
That's the one where I have to get 100 million coins, and at most you get from playing the story and playing the game is a million. So you have to really grind this one out, and that's the last one right there. Like after I get that, I will be complete with the game. But I don't know, man. I don't know what things are anymore. Anyways, that was the entire episode right there. This most likely will go up in the afternoon the next day, not the nights, because usually nights episodes are weird.
Yep.
But yeah.
Alright, close it out.
Go visit us on the facebook.com/the deadpixelsinternet.
Yeah.
Go to our YouTube, Dead Pixels Internet.
Yep. Well, Joseph going to upload more.
What are you talking about? I just uploaded those things. Okay. I see how much you knows about the YouTube right there.
Yeah.
Go to our Spotify. It's on there. Dead Pixels Internet.
Yep.
I still check the stats on that one, and I'm still very surprised to see we're getting, views on that one. Like, oh yeah, that's cool. They have about 500 episodes to catch up on. Go to my Twitter at Joe Manuel.
Go to my Twitter at Broken Hexagram.
You can follow us on our site. The site is the Dead Pixels Internet. The Dead Pixels of the Internet.podbean.com. And what will I
Yay!
name this one? Well, it's the thing is, if anyone hasn't noticed, I'm naming all these after movies. I don't know why.
Sweet.
It's just a funny little thing. The same way that you did the movie album names for the that video game. It's just a fun little thing.
Yep. Until next, you know, you run out of movies.
And I could just basically make it like Fight Club and just be like Joe Club. Well,
Yeah. Or
that makes
Bro
sense.
Code, or Lorne Code, all this other stuff.
I have to go through a really weird obscure ones. Be like, I don't know what the hell that is. But yeah, we'll see how this one turns out. Because we're gonna have to see if it's a Wednesday one or if it's a later one. Anyways,
Yep.
this has been a Dead
Pixels on the internet.
Ruining
We're in the picture internet since 2011.